6 suspects are behind bars for the murder of 20-year-old Xavier Jones Sr. Police say on November 25, 2024, he was shot to death at an apartment complex on East Wansley Drive in North Austin. Police say the suspects shot through the sliding glass door, assaulted Jones's girlfriend, and pointed a gun at a child. They stole money and a watch from Jones. According to the affidavit, Jones had posts on social media of him holding cash and a diamond-encrusted Cartier watch, and another of him buying a diamond grill for his mouth. The estimated value of the items was $50,000. John Willard was the planner and leader of the robbery, but he had a GPS tracking device, so he brought up the idea to his gang associates, Judah Wren Forbes, Lawrence Jones, Corey Keyser, and Cameron Perkins. They planned for 2 weeks and started spying. Lawrence Jones's girlfriend, Rihanna Farias, drove them to the apartment. All are between 20 and 22 years old.
It was some type of gang association that was very broad, what I'd call more of like a hybrid model. These individuals just really floated around with someone with some type of organized activity.
A Crime Stoppers tip got the ball rolling on who the suspects were. Investigators spent the next 2 months building up cases.
We assist with data gathering, analysis of open source information to include social media, and any kind of street intelligence that we can get through confidential informants and other sources. We conduct covert surveillance in cars that do not look like police cars and in clothing that does not look like police clothing.
Then on January 29th and 30th, they picked all of them up.
We began in the early morning hours and systematically arrested one person, executed a search warrant, moved on to the next, executed a search warrant, moved on to the next.
APD says 5 of the 6 suspects were out on bond. The 6th was already in jail for an unrelated crime.
It's challenging for me being on the inside. It's a drop in the bucket to the gentlemen and the men and women of the department that have to go out and risk their lives to apprehend these people for a second time.
Yvonne Jones, Xavier's mother, released a statement that reads in part, "We believe in the DA and are putting all of our trust in him that he will do everything in his power and will, that none of these suspects will ever walk free again in life. They should have never been free on bond considering all of the heinous crimes they have committed." It goes on to say, "What happened to my son was not called for because 6 criminals just wanted a watch, one in which not all 6 of them could wear at one time. This was an act of a bigger reason and cause."
No, I wish it would just go away.
This is not how Jose Franco thought his Valentine's Day would go. He says it's a normally quiet neighborhood, but on Friday afternoon,
I was out here trying to get ready to take my grandson back home, and I didn't hear anything because I was in and out, in and out. Then I saw police cars.
One of his neighbors caught the end of the chase.
He heard a loud crash and 4 shots.
Pflugerville police say they were attempting to stop a stolen vehicle when the driver led them to Lincoln Sparrow Cove off Pflugerville Parkway. That vehicle collided with an officer's patrol car before coming to a stop. The driver got out and ran, and while in pursuit, police say the suspect produced a handgun. One of the officers discharged their weapon, sending the suspect to the hospital. This is where that police chase ended. Police ended up blocking off the rest of the street here with police tape so that the officers that you see with their lights still on could finish up their investigation. In the meantime, neighbors are just ready to get back to normal.
It's a nice neighborhood, and we enjoy it here. I like the peaceful neighborhood.
Well, the officer who fired his weapon, we're told that he is on administrative leave per Pflugerville Police Department policy. The Texas Rangers will take over this investigation from here. They sent us a statement just shortly before the beginning of this show, but they weren't able to release any new information to us at this time. In Pflugerville, Lauren Rangel, Fox 7 Austin News.
Domestic violence can happen to anyone.
If we can't talk about it, we'll continue to drown in it. For many, many years, domestic violence was viewed as a family problem. It was seen as a women's issue. It is an everyone issue.
It presents itself in several different forms and slowly progresses over time.
One of the things that the research tells us about lethality is that violence will increase over time. And if it escalates, continues to escalate quickly, we're looking at a possibility of a fatality on our hands.
In both situations that happened in the Austin area, they involved a man and a woman and ended in murder-suicides.
Just asking the question, "Are you okay?" is incredibly effective and incredibly important, especially because so many survivors of family violence, people who are experiencing this, are isolated as a form of coercive control.
Every violent relationship is different, but there are patterns in abusive behaviors.
Somebody that controls their partner's finances, who they can and can't see, who isolates them, or who uses other types of abuse to cause the person to think that they have to stay with them.
She says offenders will often try to isolate the victim from their friends and family members. They will withhold resources like money, car keys, or a passport. And abusers will make the person feel like they have no way out.
Seeking help for a survivor of domestic violence many times looks like their entire world being turned upside down.
But it isn't the end of the world. There is a way out. You are not alone, and there are people whose full-time job is dedicated to helping. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, please visit the resources listed on your screen. Help is available 24/7. Harrison says there were 6 confirmed deaths caused by domestic violence in Travis County just last year. I'm reporting live in the newsroom. Katie Pratt, Fox 7 Austin News.
The family of a man killed during the solar eclipse last year wants some answers.
A woman has been arrested in connection to the killing, but no one has been charged for the murder.
Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis joining us here in studio. First of all, take us through what happened on April 8th.
So the solar eclipse happened and everyone was looking up, but at the same time, a murder happened. But that's not how this whole case came about. So Christian Rangel was reported missing the day after the eclipse. His girlfriend said he had gone to Walmart the day of the eclipse. And so investigators went to Walmart to look at the surveillance video. That's when suspicions were prevalent, because when you look at the surveillance video, there's one video he's inside, but then there's another video where he goes outside and he gets into a white SUV. And when the white SUV leaves, it takes off in a hurry. And it also looks like someone in the back is trying to open the door, maybe get out, and it speeds off. So investigators tell me that they think it looks more like a kidnapping, but they still didn't know exactly where he was at the time. So 10 days later, he was found across town in Southeast Austin, dead in a field.
Okay, so how were investigators able to link a woman to all of this?
So they went through Christian Rangel's phone records and they found a phone number that linked to this woman that also linked to the vehicle that he got into at that Walmart. Her name is Camry Wooldridge, and she right now is charged with tampering with evidence, tampering with a corpse. She's out on bond, but no one has been arrested for the murder, charged for the murder of Christian Rangel.
I mean, we're getting close to a year out from this crime. What's next for detectives in this case?
Well, I do want to point out that investigators say they're not necessarily looking at any other suspects at this time. They're open to it, but they need more evidence. They are working on getting some more forensic evidence back from the lab that may make some more connections to this woman, but they need information too. So everyone remembers, right, where you were during the solar eclipse. I remember like it was yesterday, even though it's been almost a year. If you remember seeing him, if you remember something off, something, anything, call the police department so they can hopefully make a connection and they're able to then prosecute this as a murder charge.
Yeah, many times that's what it takes, is people coming forward. All right, Meredith Aldis, thanks very much.
Thank you.
2 bodies, 2 fires, and 1 massive investigation. Around 5:30 a.m., Austin Fire was called to the Pearl Lantana Apartments in Southwest Austin. Inside, a grueling discovery.
When firefighters went inside to combat the fire, they discovered 2 subjects inside the apartment with obvious signs of trauma. to the body.
Police did not specify what kinds of wounds they had. Both were pronounced dead. Some neighbors woken up by the commotion, others by sprinklers activating.
First thing this morning, I heard just a bunch of sirens, and I went back to bed thinking it was just, they're headed to the city maybe. I wasn't sure. But then I got up to go work out, and I walk out of my apartment, and there's about 10 fire trucks and cop cars and ambulance, and I had no idea what was going on.
Police say the two bodies, a man and a woman, were on the third floor, but there was also a fire in the garage.
It seems like they're going to be connected. We don't know how, yeah. Okay. We're not sure how, if they were started separately or if it traveled.
AFD is working to figure out what caused the fires, while APD is investigating the deaths. Many residents not able to go back to their apartments throughout the morning, while the sprinklers helped keep the fire damage to a minimum. Investigators are piecing together what happened behind the yellow tape.
Makes me wonder about the safety of our complex. I guess you really never know how safe you are, but I just really hope their families are okay, and yeah, I don't know. It's really shocking.
It was around 2:30 on Friday. A 911 call came into the San Marcos Police Department.
And the man speaking in Spanish told the 911 dispatcher that he had shot his wife.
Police showed up to an apartment complex near the animal shelter.
Once officers found the correct address, the suspect was gone.
But Chief Stan Ridge says the back door to the apartment was open, and inside was a woman, 43-year-old Victoria Velades, lying on a bed, dead. Using the number the man called from and talking with family members, they identified the caller as Juan Manuel Yanez.
And so then it just became a question about, okay, where is the suspect now? And so by interviewing family, we asked, where do you think this person would go? We then learned about a familial relationship that was in Harris County.
Stan Ridge says one of his detectives used to work for the Harris County Sheriff's Office, so they contacted them.
They had a murder, and they requested that the Sheriff's Office do a welfare check at a residence.
Captain Lovett says at around 7 that evening,
the suspect from the murder was in a neighbor's yard. He saw us and started running on foot.
He says they chased after him.
He turned around. A deputy thought he saw a gun. At that point, he discharged a weapon.
Captain Lovett says Yanez wasn't hit. He kept running and hid in a backyard.
We utilized air support and canine, located the suspect.
At around 8 o'clock, Yanez was arrested.
Tonight, a Round Rock man has been arrested and a shooting investigation is underway after police say the suspect fired a gun into another car during a road rage incident. Fox 7 Austin's Tan Radford joining us live from Round Rock Police with the latest. Tan.
Mike, police say that victim did suffer minor injuries and is currently recovering from that shooting that happened earlier today. Investigators say around 5 p.m. when the suspect shot into the victim's car at I-35 and Louisiana Boulevard, police did search for the gunman following that shooting, and he was arrested a few hours later at a home on White Oak Loop. Neighbors say they saw officers with weapons drawn and unmarked vehicles in the area, leading to the suspect's arrest. According to police, the gunfire was a result of road rage on the highway. AAA says if you find yourself at the center of a road rage incident, to de-escalate the situation as best as possible.
Make eye contact with them. Don't respond with aggression. That's likely only going to escalate that situation and make things worse.
And Round Rock police say they do plan on releasing that suspect's identity and filing charges in the upcoming days. Live in Round Rock, I'm Tan Radford, Fox 7 Austin News.
More than 40 times, Paul Zagara used spray paint to depict swastikas, profanities, and other hate-based symbols in western Travis County, according to authorities.
Not only does it intimidate, and not only is it hurtful to the Jewish community and the memory that symbol has about the Holocaust and the death of millions of Jews, but it just spits on the legacy of the troops in the United States who served to defeat that kind of evil.
Court documents say the incidents happened between March and the end of December in Lakeway Bee Cave in unincorporated parts of the county. The graffiti was reportedly seen on utility poles, signs, mirrors inside public bathrooms, parking garages, homes, sports complexes, the community library, fences, garage doors, and vehicles.
It's just not the right message, not the message that we want to have here in the Austin area.
Zagara is facing charges of criminal mischief and graffiti causing financial loss, about $9,000 worth so far.
We just encourage them to try this as a hate crime because we feel pretty strongly that this is sending a message of hate.
The Travis County Sheriff's Office says they're actively investigating a graffiti case involving a vehicle belonging to District Judge Jan Soifer, who presides over civil and family law cases in Travis County. Zagara could be a possible suspect and face additional charges. In 2023, the Anti-Defamation League recorded 63 incidents of anti-Semitic assault, vandalism, and harassment, a more than 40% increase compared to the year before. The official audit of anti-Semitic incidents for 2024 hasn't been released yet, but
preliminarily, it looks like we're going to have another record year of anti-Semitic incidents, hate incidents generally from white supremacist groups.
Kurz says anti-Semitism needs to be addressed.
If we're going to bring these levels of hate down across the board, we need to engage with each other in a more civil way, productive way. Not through social media, not through talking at others.
I was living in fear and I didn't know who it was.
Who the man was who came into her apartment in the middle of the night, covered her face with a pillow, and nearly suffocated her. He sexually assaulted her, hit her in the face, and threatened her.
He said, if you tell anybody, I will come back and kill you.
The man then slipped away.
I never saw his face.
She reported the assault. It was investigated, but no one was linked to the crime. And for years, fear hovered over her.
I would hear muffled screams of this guy's next victim in my head when I would try to go to bed at night, because I knew he was out there and I knew he wasn't stopping.
And she was right. 7 years after the brutal attack, police in California caught Kevin Lee Francois trying to break into a home with 3 college women inside.
He appears to target college-age women in and around college towns.
When police searched Francois's home, they were shocked by what they found.
You never know what some offenders are going to collect, and this offender collected, looks like IDs and pictures of victims.
Francois was arrested, and his DNA was put into a national database. It matched.
Oh, gosh, I was shocked.
Francois was a complete stranger to her.
They could have lined him up with 3 people I wouldn't have known.
So DNA was critical.
It saved my life.
Currently, 19 states require DNA collections during all felony arrests. At the time, California was one of them, where Francois was caught.
I thank God every day that he was caught there because California had the law that Arizona didn't have.
Since Arizona has started requiring DNA collection during certain felony arrests. In 2015, the DNA from Francois was used to prove to a jury he was the one who terrorized the Arizona State University freshman.
They were able to prove in my trial it was 38 trillion times more likely his DNA on me than anybody else.
Francois was sentenced to 137.5 years in the Arizona Department of Corrections. Now, the FBI is looking into the use of rapid DNA in cases. It's technology that takes about 90 minutes to either link or eliminate someone to a crime. How it could help find potential new victims in the serial killer case of Raul Mesa Jr. Coming up tomorrow night on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. For Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch, I'm Meredith Aldis.